overview of the phone system, and we're going to look at auto attendants. So we can see in the user groups we've got phone terminals and we've got our auto attendant and inbound queue. So we're going to click into the auto attendant. Before we start configuring this, we've got a couple of prerequisites just to take care of. We need to upload some audio sounds, and we also need to set some time intervals. So to add sounds, you just click sounds, add sound, and we need to give it a name. In this case, we're going to call this sound welcome. It's not music on hold, and we're going to say it's a shared sound, which means we can access it anywhere within the portal. We're not going to record this over the phone. We're going to browse to a location. In this case, we're going to upload the welcome message, and we're always going to say it's a default sound file. To add the file, we just click OK, and we've now uploaded the welcome message. In this case, this is a welcome message followed by a series of options, i.e. press 1 for sales, 2 for service. We're now going to add another sound, and we're going to call this closed. And this is going to serve as the out of hours message. So when the office is closed, it will let the caller know that the office is closed and also what the opening hours are. So again, we're going to say it's a shared sound. We're going to browse to the location, out of office, and again we're going to say it's the default sound file. We're going to up level, and we can now see that we've added a welcome message and we've added a close message. We're going to up level again, and now we're going to add a time interval, and this will be used to help us create the out of hours rule. So we're going to click into time intervals, and we're going to add a time interval. We're going to create a very simple one, which is going to be 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. So what we need to do is define when the office is closed. So we're going to give this time interval a name, in this case closed, and we're going to say that the office is closed from midnight until 08:59, Monday to Friday. We're now going to use the plus button to add another interval, and we're going to say that the office closes again at 1700 and is closed until 23:59, Monday to Friday. And just to take care of the weekend, we're going to say the office is closed from midnight all the way back through 23:59, Saturday and Sunday. And then we're just going to OK that, and now we've created our time interval. I'm going to use the up level function to get back to the extension overview. I'm going to click into the auto attendant. Once I've clicked into the auto attendant, I'm going to go into IVR setup, and this is where we're going to create the IVR. The important part here is adding contexts. Contexts are a group which allows you to define a series of actions, and that will become apparent very quickly. So we need to add 3 contexts. We need to add one called time switch, and of course you can call these whatever you want to. It's just helpful to follow a particular naming convention. So the time switch is going to be the context that looks to see whether the office is open or closed, and then sends it to either the open or the closed context. So we want to say that this is the entry context. So we're going to tick that, and we're going to say allow to dial phone terminal extensions directly. That's not really required here. That would be if you were going to send a call from an open context to another extension, so not vital here, but good to get into the habit of clicking that. We're going to click OK. We're just going to up level because we need to add 2 more contexts. We're going to add the open context. This isn't the entry context, and we do want this to be able to dial extensions directly, so we're going to OK that. And finally, we're adding 1 more context, which is going to be the closed context, and again we're just going to say it can call directly to extensions. And now we've got our 3 contexts. So we're going to go back to time switch, and whenever a call goes into a context, it will always go into the start of the context unless it's defined otherwise. So usually this is your starting point. So we're going to click into start, and what we're going to select here from the drop down menu is a time interval based context jump. And we're going to say if in the time interval closed, which is the time interval we just created, we're going to go to the closed context, else we're going to go to the open context. So again, what we're saying here is we've defined a time interval which says that the office is closed before 9 o'clock and after 5 o'clock, Monday to Friday, and is closed at the weekends. So we're saying if a call comes in outside of those hours, we're going to go to the closed context, else, which would be any open time, is going to go to the open context. And we're just going to OK that, and that's all we need to do in here. It's important to note that when you do make a change to an IVR, until you actually click here, where you can see the pale ribbon, it's not actually saved. This allows you to make changes to an IVR before the end of the day and then not have to roll them out. So I'm going to go up level, and that's going to allow me now to up level again, and I'm going to look at the open context. So we need to define some actions when we get to the open context. So in this case, what I want to do is at the start, which is where the call is going to commence, I want to play a sound. And that sound is going to be a welcome message that says welcome to the company, press 1 for sales, 2 for service. So we need to find the sound that we uploaded, and it is case sensitive. So if I type in welcome and search it, I've just found that welcome sound that we found before, and I'm going to click OK. So now we can see that we've got that sound added, and if I up level, I'm still in the open context, and we can see that there's one action in there. The next thing that I need to do is to define what happens when somebody actually presses an option. So when it says press option, when the message says press 1 for sales, we need to tell it what to do. To do that, we need to click into the option 1 selection. So we click into this, and then we're going to choose alter caller ID with static value. Now the purpose of this function is when a call is passed from an auto attendant to another extension, you're able to add some text into the message. So when it goes through to the actual phone terminal, you can actually display text ahead of the actual caller ID. So what we're going to do here is, because option 1 on the message is sales, we're going to add sales, and we're going to pre-append that. We're going to OK it, and we can see now that we've got an action in here. We're then going to say we're going to transfer the call to an extension number, and we're going to transfer it to the inbound queue, and we're going to OK that as well. So what we've done here is, when somebody presses option 1, we're pre-appending the message to the phone with sales, and then we're passing it to our call queue. And we look at call queues in a separate video. So that means when the phone rings, on the actual screen of the phone, it will say call for sales from, and then the caller ID. You can then add all the other options in. So we could just go to option 2, alter caller ID with static value. In this case, we're going to say it's customer service. And then again, we're going to transfer the call to an extension number, and we're going to OK that. And that's how you build up the options within your IVR. Lastly, we're going to go up level out of the open context and go into closed. So if the time switch sees that the office is closed, you're then able to have a message which can say that the office is now closed, and then any information that you want to pass on. If you're going to pass them to voicemail, what we recommend is that you put at the end of your message, to leave a message, press option 1. So in this case, we uploaded a message which was called closed. I'm just going to search for that. I found it here. So I'm going to OK that. And if at the end of that message it said, please press 1, we can then transfer the call to an extension number. So you can elect to send it to any extension. On this server you've got centralized voicemail, so it doesn't matter which phone picks up the recording because everybody's able to access it as well. So we'll just say that the voicemail is going to be physically left on extension 1, and we're going to OK that. We can then generate the IVR by clicking here, and that now means that we've got a fully functioning auto attendant. So when a call comes in, the time switch will look to see whether it's open. If it is, it's going to pass it to the open context, it'll play the welcome message, and then callers are able to select the options. If it's closed, it's going to pass it to the closed context, it's going to tell them the office is closed and give them an opportunity to leave a voicemail by pressing 1. That's the main functions of an auto attendant. When a system gets set up, we'll typically set this element of the auto attendant up first, but this then allows you to edit it. In the next video, we're actually going to look at all of the auto attendant functions in more detail. There's a lot of things that the auto attendant can do. This is the main functions that we've been through today.